Hello, my name is Lockie McNair.
And my name is Philip Delby, and today we'll be talking about the topic of addiction.
But we're not talking about drugs or alcohol. No, we're going to be talking about a form of addiction that can be potentially harmful to the 21st century digital learner.
We are going to talk about digital addiction.
In this presentation, I'll be talking about internet and internet gaming addiction.
And I will be talking about mobile phones, but first we're going to hear from Lockie and his presentation on the internet addiction.
The internet, the World Wide Web. Since it first started being used commercially in the late 80s, it has had a revolutionary impact on the world. It has impacted the way we communicate, how we access information, and even how we entertain ourselves. But with all the great advantages that come with this very useful tool, there are still many risks that come with it as well. So many that I could spend the whole day talking about them. But today, I'm going to talk about one in particular, and that is addiction. Now, when people think of addiction, they usually think of drugs or alcohol, but the internet can be just as potent as any drug. And studies have shown that just like any drug, this form of addiction can have a detrimental effect on a person's life. It can affect their social and their emotional status, and in some cases, even affect their health. Now today, we are all guilty of frequent internet use. We all feel the urge to check Facebook, Instagram. One that I have a slight problem with is YouTube. But it's when you start to lose control, when you're never not on Facebook, when you're watching YouTube non-stop, when you shut your door on the world and focus on nothing but the screen, that it can become dangerous. One study from 2014 by Higgins and others that I've read discusses the impacts this kind of behaviour can have on the social life of the individual. It shows a breakdown on the person's relationships with their family and friends as they spend more time focusing on the screen than interacting with other people. This can start off quite innocently. Perhaps you're watching a couple YouTube videos a day or sitting in the lounge on your laptop checking Facebook. But then you might start watching YouTube videos for multiple hours at a time, or might migrate to your room from the lounge as you start to find that instead of the internet being a distraction from your family, you start to believe that your family is a distraction from the internet. You begin to replace meals at the table for dinner at the screen, or swapping games outside for games online. From another study I've found, it can be seen that other responsibilities begin to be ignored by the addict as well, as they begin to lose interest in anything that isn't on the screen, which can lead to difficulties in their academic and work life. Another great advantage of the internet that can have its own negative effects is internet gaming. With the internet came the ability to game online with others from around the globe, with games such as World of Warcraft or RuneScape. The ability to escape and enter another world for a short time. Sounds tempting, doesn't it? But what happens when that short time turns into all the time? For these individuals that find themselves addicted to internet gaming for whatever reason, be it as a means of escape from life or a lack of control, it has been found that it can negatively alter their behaviour. A study from 2013 has shown that some of the behavioural changes that can result from internet gaming addiction are increases in hostility and aggression towards most, including their family and friends, as well as a rise in antisocial behaviour. From studies into internet addiction such as the one from K.S. Young and from personal experience, I have seen the effect internet and internet gaming addiction can have on an individual's health. Evidence shows that can be a change in the individual's sleeping patterns as they begin to stay up longer to spend more time online, and then a drop in physical fitness as the addict trades exercise and time outside for hours, even entire days, sitting in front of a screen. One study from 2013 has even shown the physical effect internet gaming addiction can have on an individual's brain, with the individual's neural connectivity being seriously altered due to excessive internet gaming, which leads to the individual losing control of the amount of time that they spend gaming and even affect the individual's impulse control. Now we're going to listen to Phil with his presentation on mobile phone addiction.
Thank you, Lockie. Now, in this time of age of technology where everything and nearly every person on the planet has access to it because it's hard to escape the presence of it, or without such devices, as we know, we all live in the digital age. The trouble is that such technology gives us so much knowledge in an instance because we can learn and look up things in a touch of a button, where we can stop and order things online and also do our banking. Contact with people is easy too with social media systems. If we want, we don't have to leave the house at all. These are great in giving us the security in what we need in an instance. But does it really improve our life, or does it take something away? We don't have to look far to find people are becoming too dependent on digital technology and up forming addictions. This could be addiction to the internet or to mobile phones in particular. Everyone who can afford a mobile phone has one in the world population, which is now usually a smartphone. How does these devices get so addictive, and how does it have a hold on people's lives? Drawing people's attention all the time. This could not be a good thing as we go through a more complex world of the digital age and where technology is rapidly changing and increasing all the time. One study suggests in 2013 reveals people who rely excessively on technology like mobile phones tend to be less sensitive to violence, display higher levels of depression, and are disconnected with family and friends, and more likely to be in antisocial behaviour. They also state people tend to access media because of internal states of excitement, pleasure and stimulation, which can all contribute to psychological reliance on this media. People with a low self-esteem and social problems are more likely to become dependent, leading to addiction. As the study reveals, the implications of too much mobile phone use causes a series of physical and health problems as well as mental problems. These problems can be anxiety, sleeping disorders, psychological distress, and unhealthy lifestyle. This leads to belief that they can't do without a mobile phone, and if they don't have a mobile phone for a while, it can lead to anxiety and a lot of hardship. More medical research reveals an excessive use shows that mobile phone radiation causes gene regulation, auditorial and visual problems, affecting the cornea, lens tissue. It also affects the memory loss and headaches. In extreme cases, we can see studies that show that with prolonged use, that there's even brain tumours that have developed because of mobile phones. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for listening.